To the Asian man who went on his tirade about how your businesses do not need black people. If we chose to boycott Asian businesses, it would not matter to you. I wanted to make this video and respond to some of the things that he addressed because there's one thing that he said specifically that lets me know this man not only just carries personal bias against black people, but he does not understand his history within this country. In your video tirade, you made a point to say that, we don't need to have our businesses in your neighborhoods. We have our Chinatowns and Koreatowns. We also have our businesses in the white neighborhoods. He goes on to say that you guys are allowing people to come to this country that don't speak the language, outwork you, and build their businesses around you. Sir, I need you to understand that for many, many years in this country, decades even, black people were not allowed to start businesses in this country. If you read The Color of Law, then you would know that before things like the Civil Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act, the Fair Business Act, there was legislation that kept black people from being able to own businesses in their neighborhoods. Banks would not loan to black Americans to give them the opportunity to start their businesses. However, America was always trying to beat the allegations that they were a racist country. So one of the ways that they would do that is they allowed Asian Americans, they allowed Asian immigrants to come here and start businesses. But at first, they were not going to let them start those businesses in their neighborhoods. At first, they were not going to allow Asian Americans to open their restaurants or their grocery stores in white neighborhoods because guess what? To these people, you are no different than us. So to offset that, they allowed Asian immigrants and Asian Americans to start their businesses in our communities. That was the only place you were allowed to have a business. And that practice has basically continued to this day. Generation upon generation, you've passed those businesses down through your families. They have stayed in those communities. And now that we have grown into more modern times, we do see that you have your businesses all over the place now. We do see that you have your communities built, your Koreatowns, your Chinatowns in all of these major cities. But that came off the back of our government and the legislation in place allowing you to have an opportunity that they specifically denied people like me from having. This does not get discussed in your everyday education. This constantly gets ignored by people, specifically the type of people that you want to suck up to, because they would never want you to believe that they sent you to an area that they didn't want to have any part of in order to give you an opportunity to make money. They sent you to African American communities to make your money, build your businesses, and make your profits. And yet you turn around and point your frustration at us. You turn around and say things like, how dare we decide that we want to change the way we spend our money and engage with this system economically. You can act like you don't need us all you want, but you do. Because those people that you continue to align yourself with will not have your back when push comes to shove. You may not be the lowest person on the totem pole at this moment because all they want to do is find ways to harass the black community here in America. But you best believe if they were to somehow accomplish whatever they wanted to accomplish and got us out the way, how long before you become the community that they want to go after and dismantle? Because that is how things work here in America. That is the history of this country. And it's very clear that you did not have any knowledge of that history when you went on your tirade about not needing black people to spend money in your businesses.
You know, the reason why Asian people are so upset about this whole Asian boycott is just because we're being, singled out, you know what I mean? Always getting singled out, like, it's not the first time, right, for us, you know what I mean? And we would have thought, like, of all people, black people would have understand. And it's messed up, this whole situation. Like, little, like, white people, like, race against black people for generations, and now black people are race against Asians. I mean, it's kind of ironic, don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you just come across my video for the very first time, please do it to like, share, and most importantly, please subscribe for me. And guys, Asians are complaining, like in the clip I'm gonna add it next. You're gonna hear a guy, an Asian man, where he was saying that even if you black Americans really want to boycott their business, that you're not supposed to boycott dry cleaners and restaurants. That Asians dry cleaners and restaurants is not supposed to be boycotted. So I was like, if black American want to boycott Asians businesses, be it dry cleaning, be it restaurant, be it nail salon, Asian business is Asian business. As far as you are an Asian, they decide to boycott, so it's going to affect everybody. So he moved forward and was like, he's gonna tell the black Americans about the issue of how Asians businesses survived in black community. So guys, I'm gonna add more clips to this particular video, so do it to watch. I'll come back with commentaries, and credit goes out to the rightful owners of the clips and videos I've added to my video. So guys, I'll come back with commentary.
Laundromat. It is so damn ironic of you to bring up Chinese restaurants and dry cleaners and laundromats, because we didn't choose those jobs. We were actually forced into them due to the anti-Asian laws created by white Americans and white European immigrants. And the only reason why those businesses survived was largely because of the support of black people. But a lot of you bootlickers don't know your history. And for that, I'm going to have to take you to school. Domain expansion. Infinite TED Talk. What's up, everyone? My name is Rainier, and this is the true history of boycotting Asian businesses. You see, before Chinese restaurants and gas stations and beauty supply stores, the first Chinese migrants were actually in America in the 1800s during the California Gold Rush, and then to build the Transcontinental Railroad across the West Coast. But when the gold ran out and the final train tracks were laid, the American economy fell into a depression, and poor white Americans and European immigrants started to feel threatened by Chinese labor. And so what do? They joined anti-coolie clubs, and they advocated for anti-coolie laws that would limit the opportunities of Chinese laborers and tax anybody who hired Chinese workers. The racism was so bad that Chinese people were hunted down in their neighborhoods, beaten up by mobs of white men, or just straight up lynched in the streets. This violence is a big reason why Chinatowns were created in the first place. They are ghettos. They are safe spaces where Chinese people could set up shop and live together. But because of these anti-coolie laws, the only businesses that they could set up and get financing for were restaurants, grocery stores, and laundromats. Side note, so you should definitely watch the Warrior series, because it's based on the writings of Bruce Lee, and it's set in the 1870s during all of this anti-Asian racism. But even though black people were fighting their own freedoms at the time, they still took the initiative to speak up for Asians. And in 1869, the great Frederick Douglass gave the Composite Nation speech, where he said, "Let the Chinaman come. He will help to augment the national wealth. He will help to develop our boundless resources. He will help to pay off our national debt. He will help to lighten the burden of our national taxation. He will give us the benefit of his skill as a manufacturer and as a tiller of the soil in which he is unsurpassed." Then in 1871 in Los Angeles, a mob of 500 white men robbed Chinese businesses and killed 19 Chinese immigrants. Hatred was so commonplace that companies would release advertisements to sell their laundry products using anti-Chinese racism. And then decades later, when the Hoover Company needed to sell washing machines, they published this ad over here depicting Chinese laundromat workers being displaced by automation. Now, if you watched Sinners, you probably remember the two Asian characters over here who ran a grocery store. And a lot of people were kind of confused why they were included, but that's because many Asians who left the West Coast due to a lack of work and racism, they fled to the South to work on sugar and cotton plantations. Many of those same Asians set up grocery stores in those black neighborhoods, which means black people were speaking up for Asians on the West Coast and putting dollars into our businesses in the American South. Fast forward to the 1980s when Vincent Chin was bludgeoned to death with a baseball bat by two white men who thought that Vincent was Japanese. Ronald Ebens and Michael Nitz recently lost their job at the Chrysler factory, and they blamed the Japanese car market for destroying the American automotive industry. And so they killed Vincent Chin. And when the Asian community needed to seek justice, who showed up for us? Jesse Jackson. I could honestly keep going, but I'm going to end on this note. If you know the Disney movie, The Jungle Book, then you know the author of the original book, Rudyard Kipling. But what you might not know is that Rudyard also infamously created the poem, The White Man's Burden, which symbolizes the pain and the struggle of being a white man who is responsible for carrying African, Asian, Latino, and indigenous people out of the jungles of barbarism into the promised land of civilization. But for a lot of you bootlickers, you seem to think that just because you're in another basket that you're better than black folks, even though we've worked on the same plantations and we've been lynched by the same angry mobs. You're trying so hard to get invited to the picnic, even though history has proven that we'll never truly be accepted by them. And in fact, history shows us the opposite. History has shown us that even though black people have no reason to invite us to the cookout, for well over a century, they have still had the heart to save us a plate. So to all you ungrateful Asian bootlickers out there crying about black people boycotting Asian businesses, just know that this protest doesn't come from nowhere. It came from over 100 years of showing love to Asian people and not receiving that same love and support in return. And goddamn, I think it's time that we need to return the favor.
I had to follow him because everything he said was the truth. Once you know history, and it really pisses me off whenever I hear people just come off on the tail end of something, on the tail end of history, on the tail end of everything, and they don't know a piece of history, and then they come up with all these weird scenarios about, boycotting equals hatred and boycotting, and they don't even see all the love the black community gave Asians, only to get spit on in return, on every side, because they have a whole anti-blackness culture way over there, and they bring it over here. He did some studying. Either he went and studied or he already knew it. And he decided to educate his own people because they needed some education.
People are calling the boycott of Asian businesses collective punishment. I can see why they think that, but for me personally, I'm holding off on that assessment. You need to realize this is a very natural response, in my personal opinion, and it's very mild in the sense that I'm seeing people bring up collective punishment in the sense like, oh, people saw one thing and then they took it out through violence. They rioted through the streets and attacked their businesses. This is purely just a boycott. This is people choosing not to spend their money at certain businesses. All right. This is perfectly within legal limits. Okay. Another point I want to bring up is even without an organized boycott, people already made up their minds when they saw on the news that another kid has been killed by an Asian business owner. Let's say there is a restaurant franchise, one location accidentally food poisons their clientele and news spreads around, and people around the United States decide to avoid that franchise altogether. Is that collective punishment? I don't really think so, all right? I think collective punishment in this situation would be if people across the United States decides to burn down every single franchise they can find, despite that one specific location being the one at fault. I think you can just argue that this is poor marketing from Asian business owners, all right? The fact that there's already a record of Asian business owners killing black kids, that's horrible marketing. Why would, just think about it for a moment. Do you think the black community would have somewhat concerns shopping at Asian businesses, knowing that there's a record of Asian business owners killing black kids? Think about that for a moment. I feel like, again, that's why I feel like this is a natural response. This is a natural response to a kid getting killed. People are going to call this pandering. They're going to call me performative, even call me a traitor. And I understand where they're coming from, but for something like this, I like to try to not have as much ego as possible, because just think about it like this. Let's say there is no boycott. Let's say people react as if nothing happened after this kid tragically died. What type of accountability would you see from the Asian community? What type of action would you see from the Asian community? And I think that is a brutal question, because I worry there won't be any accountability at all.
If you're going to group all of the Asians together, we cannot have a productive conversation.
I'm half East Asian and half Southeast Asian, which one always gets left out of the conversation, which I don't really give a shit, because the bottom line is we are all under the heel of white supremacy and capitalism. And US capitalism is based on the back of slavery. So all this nuance, all this little minutia, all leads back to the root cause of capitalism and white supremacy. Oh, Koreans that have businesses in black neighborhoods, why should we boycott them? They are in those neighborhoods because of capitalism and white supremacy. I have lived in white towns. I have lived in predominantly black poor neighborhoods. I have worked in the richest white schools in Ohio. I have worked in the poorest black schools in Ohio. I've worked in New York. I've worked in LA. It's not complicated. Black people can boycott whatever they want to boycott. In 8th grade, there was this guy who was kind of a bully, and he was super strong. He could kick the shit out of me. He doesn't know this, but he destroyed one of my vertebrae when we were in a fight one time, and he had a sidekick that would perpetuate his treatment of others. And so I couldn't beat up the main bully, but one day we got in this big fight. He kicked the shit out of my other friend, and I knew I couldn't fight the main bully, but I held down his sidekick and beat his ass until he cried. Then I fought the other bully, got the shit kicked out of me, but it garnered enough respect that just because that guy was under the wing of the other main bully doesn't mean that he was safe. So the black community should do everything that they need to do to secure their own. If you're a Vietnamese refugee, if you're a Lao refugee, if you're a Filipino, if you're a Korean or a Chinese immigrant, you are here most likely because of capitalism and white supremacy. So the only thing that you should be doing is loudly and persistently supporting black justice. Everything goes back to stand up if you would readily switch your life with a black American. And because no refugee would stand up because they were promised white adjacency. They were promised to be close to power. Because no matter how hard I had it growing up, it was nothing compared to the personal stories of black people I knew, and it was nothing compared to the systemic oppression of black communities that I saw and worked with and knew. Do I get annoyed when East Asians look down on Southeast Asians? Because I'm both? Yeah, but who are they mirroring? Who set that system up? Who gave them that idea? The modern idea of it. Spoiler alert, religion used by white supremacy and capitalism. So chew on that.
I keep seeing videos of Asian men and women talking about they don't care if black people stop supporting their businesses. Well, pump your brakes, because I want to explain something to you. Your businesses are in our neighborhoods, right? Y'all liquor stores, y'all hair salon product stores are in our neighborhoods. I have never seen a black business in fucking Chinatown or Koreatown or Cambodia town. Shout out to the Cambodians, because I like y'all. I fuck with y'all. But I'm just saying, okay? I'm making a point. Okay? When you go to the fucking hair spot, it ain't Asians running through that motherfucker. It's black and Hispanics, more or less. Okay? So no, matter of fact, we don't fucking need your business. Okay? We don't. We don't need to eat your fried chicken. We don't need to eat your Chinese food. Keyword need. We don't need that shit. Y'all need us to buy it. Right? So pump your brakes. Pump your brakes, all right? Like, for real. We don't fucking need no Asian businesses, bruh. Keyword need. All right? Trust me, we can go somewhere else. All right? I can go to the soul food spot to get some fucking fried chicken, but you're right here, bruh. So I'm gonna just get it from you. Pump your brakes. I'm telling y'all. We don't need y'all, right? With all due respect. With all due respect, we don't need y'all. I'm just saying.
So the word is we got us a massive boycott going on right now, boycotting Asian businesses in the black community that are predatory or have been predatory. I'm with that. Let's also make sure we're boycotting these stores in our neighborhoods that got bulletproof glass. That's a no-go. We're done with that. It's disrespectful. We out of there. Also, because a lot of these Asian businesses have a lot of younger people working for them, and they are tech savvy. They understand SEO. So what a lot of them are doing in the metadata of their websites is putting things like black owned in the metadata. So when you search for black owned whatever on Google or any one of these search engines, some of these Asian owned businesses are still showing up. So you might think this is a black owned business, but really they just played with what they call the algorithm, SEO, search engine optimization. They played with it a little bit, right? Use one of these black business directories. I don't have one that I recommend to you, but Use one of those to figure out which businesses are actually black owned. A lot of these businesses out here know that black people are trying to spend money with black businesses, so they started playing with their optimization in these search engines. They know how to play the game. We need to know how to play the game better, and we need to know how they are playing the game.
Peace. And to all my Asian business owners that's getting shut down, because this isn't no boycott. This is a transfer of wealth. I don't want you to cry because you're not going to be the only ones that's kicked out of our neighborhoods. We coming for all y'all races, man. Do you know why? Because none of y'all have shown love. None of y'all have paid homage. None of y'all give back to our communities. The only thing you do is disrespect, judge all of us the same. Yeah, we got some effed up people in our family, but can you say y'all don't have no effed up people? You feel what I'm saying? But we still show y'all respect, man. We allow y'all to come into our neighborhoods, make money for your family. You know, now y'all fat and y'all eating and we starving, and y'all really want to start disrespecting? Man, listen, man, Asian business owners, man, y'all just the first hit. Y'all just the first wave, man. It's coming, we coming for everybody, man. We don't need nobody. Y'all need us. And we done being your host. We done being a host to a bunch of blood-sucking leeches. Ungrateful. That's exactly what y'all are, man. And this straight truth, man. So don't call us racist or nothing, because we standing up for ourselves and we want our people to shine just like y'all want y'all people to shine, man. There's a reason why y'all don't want us to have money, man. But listen, man, everybody don't, hey, Asian business owners, don't you fret no more, man. We gonna go ahead and get started with the next ones soon. So y'all go ahead and let the people know who we getting out next, and we getting them. It's time to eat, everybody. Peace.
Common sense approach. Oh yeah, y'all getting to them. I have never, in all my years of watching social media, I have never seen an Asian person come on to social media and promote a business, their business, with such passion. Aimed at black people at that. I have never. This lady got up here and said, "Hey y'all." Man, I turned around. I was, God, who the fuck was that? Cause I was chilling and I heard it. "Hey y'all, come down and see us. We doing eyebrows, etc., etc. Now accepting walk-ins Friday and accepting walk-ins Friday and Saturday." Stop it. Boy, you better not be late for your appointment. Now it's walk-ins? I have never heard an Asian person promote a business with such passion. I'm talking about no fast talking, no Johnny Dang slick talking, none of that. Straight. The same courtesy and respect that the British English American get when they put businesses in their community. Because this business is right there in the black community. I looked at the address. And so, there you have it.
This girl was literally just sitting there getting her nails done, minding her business, and the whole staff thought they could talk about her in Vietnamese like she wouldn't understand a thing. They were doing that quiet whispering, side-eyeing, commenting on her hair, her hands, her outfit, acting like she was invisible while she was right in front of them paying for a service. And she didn't react. She just sat there letting them get more and more comfortable, letting them talk themselves straight into trouble. Sometimes the best clapback really is silence, because they had no idea who they were dealing with. Then, finally, when they pushed it too far, she spoke up, calm, steady, not yelling, not dramatic, just, "My mom is Vietnamese!" And the whole shop stopped. You could have heard a nail tip drop. Everybody froze like someone hit a pause button. Suddenly, all that bold whispering turned into awkward smiles and fake customer service voices real quick. And the funniest part is, she wasn't even mad. She wasn't trying to drag them. She just made it clear she understood every single word they said. The looks on their faces said everything, not just embarrassment, but that sting of realizing they got caught.
So you see, so if black Americans felt protected, they will not boycott you people Asian. Like, they did not feel protected, and the disrespect was much. Just as I say, the disrespect you have for black Americans is much. So you don't expect them to continue bringing their money to your shop. So you're saying they should consider the dry cleaners, they should consider some parts, they should no. Things is not done that way. When a community agreed on one particular thing, that's what they are going to work with. So you don't have the right to tell them where to work, how to spend their money, where not to spend their money, where not to go to, where they should go to. Guy, it's their money. It's their money. So the quicker you guys understand this, the better for you. You guys should stop dragging this issue. Just let it lie. Do your business amongst yourselves. Patronize yourselves as Asian. Black too, they should patronize themselves as black. Should patronize themselves as black. Yes. Since you guys did not invest in any community, and you didn't do anything for them as in black community, because and they still continue to patronize you. But what they gain is disrespect, hate, and other things. So you guys should patronize yourself and let black patronize yourself too. Let them patronize themselves. You people should patronize yourself too, and let the other people of color patronize you, since they are the ones you love more than black. Guys, I'm here to talk about Asians businesses. Guys, Asians are really going through a lot. Like, they are really going through a whole lot. Like, they never believe that this boycotting is gonna take so long. You understand? Like, if they believe, if they know that this boycotting of their businesses is gonna wax strong, it's gonna take this long, like, all the blacks Americans are going to cooperate, are going to unite together and stop coming to their business places, they would have not made that statement that they made. Like, a lot of them are regretting. They are really regretting this boycotting of a thing, because they know the people of color will not patronize them. Like, the people of color will not spend money the way blacks spend money when it comes to taking care of their self, their hair, their nails. It's just a normal thing with blacks. Like, they love looking good. Looking good is a good business for them. They love looking good. And I don't think that the people of color will even allow them give them, will not even welcome them. Talk more of accommodating them to come and open their businesses in their community. But you see blacks, they are welcoming. They are so nice. They don't even have issues with you. They give you guys space where you guys run your businesses, and they still patronize you. They still patronize you. They still spend their money in your community. But all you could do is to pay them back with hate. Is to pay them back with is to look at them like a piece of garbage. The blacks did nothing to deserve it from you, Asians people. See, people that are spending money in your businesses are people you don't even supposed to joke with. Like, you're not even supposed to joke with them in any way around. But because you feel you can do without them, you feel if they boycott you, nothing will happen. You feel you are strong. You feel you guys can do it without blacks. Why are you guys crying out? Why are you guys crying out, Asians? Since you said you can do it without black, so why not continue? Continue doing it without them. They don't need you to. So you guys should better adapt to this system of black people not patronizing you, because it's not going to stop any moment from now. Like, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop, and they are not willing to stop. And you cannot tell them when to stop it or when not to stop it, because they were you. And this will sound as a lesson to other community, not to disrespect black in any way. Because guys, the disrespect was not too much, it was too much. The disrespect Asians has for black, the hatred they has for them, and the way they talk down on them is too much. It's very, very bad. You can't do it to the people of color like that. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and please do it to like, share. Most importantly, please subscribe for me. I beg you in the name of God. And credit goes out to the rightful owners of the clips and stitches were added to this video. So guys, see you soon in my next video. Bye bye.